What's like your best positions to make a woman squirt?
If she's not like if it doesn't happen for her typically naturally, then it would probably, if it happens naturally, then probably doggy style is the easiest way to make it happen. But if not, then it would be her on the edge of the bed with her legs back.
Okay. Okay.
That would be typically the easiest way. If that's typically where she experiences all the things she's never experienced before.
Okay.
In that position, yes.
Okay. What is your favorite position is it with the legs pinned back? What's your favorite position to make a woman like have a spot orgasm, G spot orgasm, or even just squirting? Because I believe that squirting and orgasm is not the same thing.
Yeah, they're not. They don't always accompany each other.
No.
Yeah, sometimes they do though. But
so your favorite position to make a woman orgasm and a favorite position to make a woman squirt?
For the orgasm, it would still be legs back, edge of the bed, but also missionary. It's just that the legs back from the edge of the bed, since I'm standing up, my stamina is better.
Okay.
So I like that better. But
Right.
the from the edge of like regular missionary, I can place my weight on the pelvis that allows it creates like a stronger sensation, I guess. You know what I mean? Because it's like what I always tell men is to aim for the ceiling of the vagina, right? So if you're aiming up there, even if you do this with your fingers, if you are stimulating the G spot and you put your hand on the pelvis, you can feel your finger. You know what I mean? If you put your pelvis on her and you do that, she'll feel your penis or whatever. You'll be able to feel right where it's at, and that creates a stronger sensation. But make me. I feel like I couldn't say that, but it make me come faster, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not the same for my stamina.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You last longer.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you like do any like research or like this is all from pure experience? Is any of this like in books or?
I mean, I did do the theory stuff first.
How did that come up? How did that come about? Like, I'm gonna go to masters. I'm gonna get theory of squirting. Like what? Like how does
I
that?
wish. I mean, I was like 13. I think like 12, 13, trying to. My mom had books in the house, like yeah. So I was like 13, 14. I was entering high school, and that's when the possibility of sex was like actually becoming real. And I wanted to be able to be good at it the first time or whatever. You know?
Were you good the first time?
No.
Okay. No, most men are.
Trash, yeah. I was trash, yeah. So I was trash for a long time.
Right.
Not just the first time.
I feel like a lot of men are trash up until like a certain point where they're like, it's not about me anymore. Like,
yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
That's what women tell me. So yeah, I could believe it.
When do you feel like you got better at sex?
I got better. Honestly, let me put it this way. Someone texted me. I started to do like the A spot, like stimulation, right, with a woman one time because I was intimidated, not because I thought that it worked, but I was doing it because I heard you're supposed to grind that area, right? But I didn't think that women enjoyed that grinding. I thought women enjoyed the pounding. So I know, right?
Yeah, you see my face.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but that's what I thought. So I knew I would come fast if I did the pound, so I just did the grinding. She enjoyed it. I didn't believe it. Fast forward like another 4 or 5 years, a woman texts me and says that she came 13 times, the one time we was together, and 9 times the other time. And that's when I was like, oh, this might actually be working.
Wow.
And then I kind of went back and asked other women, like, you know, when you said right there, what spot was that? And then they were saying the same thing, that it was matching up. And then I was like, now I need to go out with some new women and see, you know. So that's kind of how that began.
So this is your theory? Like that's the theory that you're talking about? Or this? Yeah. Okay, so it came from the books.
It came from my mom's books telling me where the G spot was at. They didn't talk about the A spot. They talked about the G spot.
I feel like that A spot is something that's just like new. It's been there for a while, but it's like circulating now.
Just now, yeah.
With all the platforms that are on being sexually free and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's needed though.
Yeah, it is. No, it is needed. So then, okay, your mom's textbooks, and then it's like, all right, let me test this out in the field. Yeah. You're a scientist. You're a sexual scientist.
That's what I consider myself.
You are a sexual scientist. What is that method that they use? You have like a hypothesis, and then you prove your hypothesis by the ends of your science experiment.
I think it's called the scientific method. I think.
There we go. Scientific method. That's pretty funny. What is like, I'm sure you've met with a lot of women before, but what is your best experience? Do you have a best experience? Maybe top 3?
Okay, yeah, that's easier. That's a little easier, yeah, because it's for me, since I'm creating tutorials, to me, it's like the best ones are the ones that kind of like impress people. Like shift their paradigm on like what they thought was possible and stuff. So there's a session where the like before I used to have my sessions, and then like when it was done, I would turn the camera off, and then I would ask them for feedback and stuff like that. This girl just started talking immediately after, yeah. And she talked for like maybe 30 minutes, and everything she was saying was just, it was just perfect. Everything she was like, this is what sex supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
Porn is a lie. You know, like you wasn't going hard, and I was having even better sensations. She was like, you stayed in the pocket, like stuff like that. So a lot of people who watch that video, women will say, you know, I relate to what she's saying, and that helps them to understand when I'm talking about what I'm talking about in the video. But then guys watch it and then they hear what she's saying and they're like, wow. So doing this made her feel like that. You know, it like, she's like, you changed my life. And I hear that a lot. You know what I mean?
Love that.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. So like with the ones that are that impactful and people can see what I'm doing and learn from it, and I can like break it down, those are my favorite ones. But that's my pin to post on my OnlyFans so people can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Men and their feedback. Have men ever approached you and say, hey, like what you said, what you taught, that really worked, like
All the time.
all the time?
I was supposed to be making a post today. I couldn't do it though because I couldn't come up with my caption just yet, but I'll probably do it when I get off of here. Where a guy was like, yeah, I'm the talk of at my job now because of what he did at a Christmas party. With a girl he took home from a Christmas party.
Oh, I was like, what did he do
Yeah,
at
not
the Christmas party?
No, I don't teach stripping and none of that. But
I was like, is there something else that's going on that you're not telling us?
no, he went home with one of his coworkers and he said he made her squirt. That was the first woman he made squirt. And they both was caught off guard by that. And now he's the talk at his job and stuff.
It really is it really does come out of nowhere. Like,
It does.
like
Well, for them, it does.
for me,
Yeah.
like yes, it does. It came out of nowhere. It was just like I didn't even know this. For the longest, I was just like, I'm just a creamer. I don't know how to squirt.
A lot
Like
of women feel that way.
the only time I've ever squirted when I was using a toy.
Okay. I hear that.
And that was clitoral stimulation. It really wasn't even through penetration still. It's still not penetration.
Did that squirting feel compared, did the squirting from the toy compared to the squirting from the sex, which one?
It's two different experiences for me.
But they both felt good.
Both felt good, but two different experiences.
Okay.
Like when I did it through the toy, it was more of like a waterfall effect. And then like through penetration was more like, I don't want to say violent, but it was pretty violent.
It was shooting.
It was pretty violent. I was like,
Okay.
I got up from the bed. I was like, I did all this.
Yeah.
Like,
So was that more intense, that one?
yeah,
was?
a lot more
Okay.
intense.
Okay.
So when you say grinding, because when I think of grinding, I'm thinking of like a man moving his waist, his waistline.
Yeah.
Are you talking about that or?
I mean, it's like the mortar and pestle.
Yeah.
It's basically like that. So you are moving your hips, but for the purpose of like the tip of your dick to be grinding into the spot.
Oh, yeah.
But you can grind the entire penis into the ceiling of the vagina and get the same result.
Okay.
Yeah. So you don't have to. You can like go in and just move back to back like that. Side to side. Like so it all works.
What do you say like the age range of men that like come to you or are curious? Is it are you more on the younger side, like under 25 or?
According to my insights on Instagram, it's like 25 to 35 or like somewhere around there.
Okay, that's really good.
It's people like, under that too, but for the most part, the larger part of the graph is around 25 to 35. I think.
Well, that's good because I feel like a lot more men need to understand that like there's different ways to please a woman, and I think women need to know that they can have an orgasm through.
Yes.
I mean, vaginally. For the longest, I thought mine was just clitoral too.
Yeah, I hear that a lot.
And then I experienced it vaginally, and I was like, "Oh, mine
I know.
blown."
I've had women argue me down that there is no A spot. Yeah, it blows my mind.
Well, because they didn't experience it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like a person can be that, in a sense, that deprived to the point where it doesn't even exist for them.
Right.
Tell someone else that it doesn't exist. Like that's how bad it is. You know what I mean?
That reminds me of something that you posted on your Instagram, and it said like women said that they can enjoy sex without an orgasm.
Yeah.
And
I was going to ask you about that actually.
really, I already had it for you.
Oh, word. Okay.
For me, before you answer, I can enjoy sex, but like I need an orgasm.
Okay.
I need it because it's like in my mind, I feel like, did I just get fucked on?
Oh, right.
Like, and my biggest thing is like, and you'll hear it throughout Spicy Studios, is like, I tell women, don't get fucked on, which means is that you're only there for this man's pleasure.
Yeah.
You got nothing out of it.
Right.
And for me, that's a no. That's a big no for me.
Was it always that way, or once you had an orgasm?
I feel like no, it wasn't always that way, which is why I preach don't get fucked on. For the longest, I was being fucked on. Like I would say up until 25, 26.
Okay.
I didn't have my good sexual years have become later in my life. And it's because it's like I prioritize myself and prioritize like, and a man who's going to prioritize.
Right.
Because you can, like, men can come easier than me.
Yeah.
But it takes some work to do it with me. So it's like making sure that man understands that it's me and me understanding that it's me. Yeah. So I can enjoy the sex, but if I don't get an orgasm from it, like, I feel like women's been deprived if they're just saying, I'm just doing it to do it.
Yeah. The women that were saying that, it was other women saying I felt that same way until I had an orgasm.
Right.
Yeah. So they're like, most of you saying this are probably women that never had one before, only had maybe one, or have, set your expectations to just not expect to have one. So you just kind of settling. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, it is a settlement. And that's why I say just don't ever get fucked on by anybody. Man, woman, just don't, make sure you, what does Nick say? She says, prioritize your pleasure. And that's real.
Yeah.
It's real. And I also tell women that it's good to explore themselves. I also tell women to explore themselves and their body before a man does, because you're going to know your body better than a man will ever, right? I know, like, do you think I could find my own G-spot if I wanted to, right?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Right.
The A-spot might be a bit tougher.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to like pin my legs.
right, yeah.
But how do you feel about women who say they don't masturbate or they don't play with themselves, or?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah, like, do you feel like they should to maybe better?
Oh, yeah. If they're not having good sex, then yes. If they are having good sex and they don't play with themselves, that's even better, because they're going to be so sensitive when it comes time for the man to touch them. You know what I mean? So when I find a woman that doesn't use a toy or whatever, I already know how crazy that's going to be.
Yeah.
So I'm not against the woman not masturbating unless she doesn't know herself and stuff.
Okay. So I will agree with you on the point of like using toys definitely desensitize you, because it's literally you're going up against a motor, going up like miles of hours, like that a man can never compete with. Yes. So then when a man is doing it, and it's like, yeah, I feel like one time I put in the group chat, I was like, this man was giving me head and I couldn't come from it. And my homegirl, the first thing she said to me, she was like, stop using your vibrator. And I was like, all right. So I stopped using it. Lo and behold, next time he did it, I was like, okay.
Yeah. They say toys do to women what porn does to men, as far as expectations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily I don't tell women to stop, because stopping doesn't usually give them orgasms, because the man don't know what he's doing.
Right.
A lot of times they're using a toy because he fucked on them, and then she's waiting for him to leave, and then she pulls it out, and it's just herself or whatever. Right. So if that's her situation, I can't necessarily tell her to stop.
Right.
Because then she just won't be getting nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
just to put out there, I am not against toys. I have a whole pouch sitting at home.
I thought you was gonna say treasure chest.
I do. I have a pouch because I can't bring a treasure chest with me because I travel a lot, so it's heavy.
Okay.
So I bring the essentials. You can't have dick. Bring the essentials.
I knew you were a treasure chest girl. I can see it. Okay.